Hello, welcome back to another comic book selling tips. On the last video, I talked about the importance of identify keys and the importance of grading, pulling out those keys in order to determine if they are slap worthy or not. Okay. One thing that I neglect to mention in the video, and the main topic for this video, is that there are a lot of non-keys silver and bronze books and other age that are also slap worthy, so you need to also pay attention to those. Sure, there are non-keys in gold, in copper, in moderns that are also slap worthy for whatever reason, but for this video, let's just narrow the focus to bronze and silver. Okay. For sure, I can't recommend highly enough that you subscribe to a pricing database such as Cover Price or Go Collect or GP Analysis, because it substantially reduce the time that you had to spend to go on eBay to look at past historic sales price. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's penny wise, dollar foolish if you don't want to spend the $10 or $5 a month. I understand not every collection is worth a lot of money, but if you have a big collection and you plan to sell a lot of books and you have a lot of keys, potentially it's worth to spend the few bucks to subscribe to those databases. Now, when it comes down to non-keys, keep in mind that there are a lot of keys, non-keys, a lot of now when it comes down to non-keys, what is it that potentially can make some of them worth a lot of money that are slap worthy? The grade. Okay, high grade bronze and silver, even if they're not keys, are potentially slap worthy. By high grade, I mean 8.5 to 9.4 or higher. Okay, the good news is, if you're new to selling, if you're new to the hobby, certainly grading is never easy. Okay, learning to grade is tedious, but learning to grade the high end, the 8.5 to 9.4-ish, tend to be the easiest compared to lower grade. Okay, at first everything seemed difficult. Okay, I understand. In the beginning, if you're new to grading comic books, it seemed daunting, but the more you do it, the more you realize that from 8.5 to 9.4, that's is the easiest spot. For me, 9.6 and 9.8 is fairly easy as well, but for some people 9.6 and 9.8 can be tough, but 8.5 to 9.4 tend to be the easiest. Note, I said easiest, I didn't say easy compared to mid and low grade area. So that's the good news. The good news is the easiest grading part is a part that could be worth slabbing. So as you go through your collection to pull out the keys, keep your eyes on the high grade books. Okay, if you see high grade books, especially silver age, even non-keys, 8.5, 9.0 can fetch over $100, sometimes a couple $100. Same thing with bronze. Okay, so don't just pull out keys and ignore the rest as if because they are not keys, they are not slab worthy. All right, so keep that in mind. A lot of time, a lot of non-keys can still fetch decent money. Here's an example of a book, a non-keys that I bought and sold many times, and I certainly benefited from people that didn't grade it properly on eBay. I can buy this book between $50 and $60 in general, and resell it for 200 or more. Here's this book, Avenger 93. Okay, I took it out of the bag. I'll show you. Avenger 93. It's not a key, okay? It's a cool book. It's a great book for a lot of Neil Adams fan, Avengers fan, Scree and the Scroll War, all that stuff. But you're talking about 1971, early Bronx, okay? Now, I bought many copies of this book over the past 10 years, 4, 5, 6 copies. Never paid more than $75 for any of the copies, but they tend to be like this one. Beautiful copy. Most likely 9.2-ish. And if you had GPA or Go Collect, you can look it up. A 9.2, I think, fetch well over 200. So paying 60 for something like this, and then spending $30 with CGC and then sell it for well over 200, right? That's easy, double my money, double my investment. So that is from a buyer viewpoint. From the seller viewpoint, I certainly don't want you to be making that mistake where you look at something like this, you look at all your apps and it's not a key, and then you think it's not slap worthy, and then you're trying to sell it raw. On top of that, you undergrade the book and you left money on the table. Okay, so that's a scenario that I want you to avoid. So let me reiterate. When it comes down to it, knowing how to grade still is the most important thing in this hobby, whether you are a seller or a buyer. Okay, so but this series is tips for seller. So once again, regardless of the topic, it still come back to at least knowing how to grade even a little. Okay, you cannot avoid that unless, as I mentioned before, you can sign the collections or the books to a dealer or a store or an auction house to do it for you, and then they get to keep a big chunk of the proceeds. Yeah, I know I keep bringing back the same point over and over again, but I'm sure if you keep watching the videos in this series, you will see one recurring theme keep coming back again and again and again, and that is grading. Okay, when it comes down to this hobby, it's hard to avoid it if you want to get the most money. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.